Hello, this is a cycling review of the Fiido C21 Pro e-gravel bike. I don't usually do these kinds of things, reviews I mean, um, but there are many reasons why it felt like it was a good idea to do this today. First, because it's a beautiful day here in the UK. I am in a region of the place I live called Janet's Park, a big wide field where people come to walk their dogs and run and cycle. Second, a new bike. A new bike, it's always a good reason to go out and do these kinds of things, I suppose. And also, this is my very first e-bike, the Fiido C21 Pro e-gravel bike. So it's kind of special. I decided it was a good reason to write about it, as other people might be interested. There are reviews already on the web, and I'm not trying to do any better job. Actually, I think I'm pretty awful at this. So, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong here. So, please give me some room for mistakes and awkward moments. The third reason is I'm going to try to record this right on my Insta360 camera, 360-degree camera, connected to this the invisible selfie stick, and to a wireless microphone. And this is also a first for me. I never done this. That was one of the reasons I bought all this gear. I never used it. So I thought it was a good moment to do this. And also, this video follows my unboxing yesterday in my living room. If you haven't seen it and you're interested, I took pictures and recorded all the steps I've made to actually put this bike together, take it out of the box and put this bike together. It's pretty easy. It's not a big deal. I struggled with a few things that I'm not very familiar with, but it's anyone can do it, really. It's that easy. So if you haven't seen the unboxing and you're interested, just head to the previous video and it should be there. Right. So I think as an introduction, this is more than enough. This is a light gravelly terrain. It's not paved. I mean, there's not tarmac, asphalt. It's earth, it's dirt with spread of gravel, little stones, pebbles. There are tiny hills here. And the points that I wanna check. As I say, this is my first e-bike, so I have no reference, no means to compare with other e-bikes. So I'll be comparing with the bikes I know. I had for a short period another gravel bike. I have a road bike, and I had several mountain bikes, or I had several mountain bikes, full suspension and half suspension. So I'm going to be comparing this bike with the more traditional standard bikes, not with other e-bikes, because I don't have the experience to do that. But I will assess how it rides on tarmac, how the assistance level performs, how the gear changes occur. This uses a Chinese derailleur system from L2. And in general, how the bike actually performs. It actually looks really nice here. It's an app. There's an app on the phone as well. It connects via Bluetooth. I'm going to be talking about that app. So I'm going to generally, change settings as I ride to see how the bike performs on more hilly ground, on asphalt, more speed. This bike actually cuts assistance at 25 kilometers per hour, around just over 15 miles per hour. So after the bike reaches a speed of 25 kilometers per hour, there's no power from the motor. It cuts the assistance and it just becomes a normal bike, I suppose. But for me, that is more than enough. I don't ride as an athlete. I don't ride to compete or to get faster places. I ride to enjoy. So it's just a little bit of assistance level on hills and so on. Since this bike has only nine gears, and I'm typically used with higher gear ratios in bikes than this one. So let's get on the bike and start riding. Okay, on the bike now. I kind of like positioned myself here in the middle of the field because I didn't want to be interrupted by any passers-by. And as you can see, there's quite high grass here. So I'm going to put the bike on level 3 to start with, of the 5 levels. I've already used most of it level 1 and 2. I tried level 3 and it's pretty good. I put the glasses on. Sun's gone down a bit, but it's still a very nice day. Let's go. Oh wow. I am barely having to pedal. So level 3, I can immediately feel the kick that the motor gives. It's not even necessary. I mean, it's really level now. So I'm gonna move it back to 1 or 2. And as this is the first time that I'm using this setup with the 360, I just found out that the pole is going down. So I'm having to hold the selfie stick with one hand. Yeah, well, it's about to happen. Let's move it back onto number 1 there because it's very flat here. But as I'm having to hold the selfie stick with my right hand, I realized that I should have put the camera on my left hand side, because the left hand side is the front brake, and the right hand side is the rear brake. So I'm having to brake with the front wheel, which is okay, and it gives me a chance to actually talk about the brakes. So this bike has Tektro hydraulic brakes, and they're pretty good. My previous bikes, as I said, I never had an e-bike before, but my previous bikes, most of them had hydraulic brakes. The hybrid touring bikes I had, the mountain bikes I had, they all came with hydraulic brakes, and I absolutely love it. I love the confidence and the performance of hydraulic brakes, disc brakes. But I also have a Cannondale Synapse road bike, and that's equipped with mechanical disc brakes. I've also recently had a gravel bike for a short period of time. I returned it, and that had also Tektro mechanical disc brakes, and I really don't like the performance of mechanical disc brakes in comparison to hydraulic. Is quite poor. So this was one of the buying reasons for me to buy this bike, was the brakes, and they're pretty good. Have kind of faulted really inspires confidence. The changing of the gears is obviously not a Shimano or SRAM or the more expensive derailleurs or gear sets, but it's okay. Some of the gears rattled a little bit, but what I mean is I could see them how should I say, I could see the typical noise when the gears actually are not quite well in place. The indexing of the gears seems to be a little bit of an issue, but that might be just setup. I'm gonna take a look at that later, but other than that, it's fine. Changing gears actually changes quite well. Doesn't feel as smooth as the bikes I have with Shimano gear sets, but it's not bad either. It's just a matter of getting used to it, I think. Other than that, and this little light gravel that you can see here, it's absolutely fine. I'm actually going to go down the hill and then revert positions. Well, go uphill a little bit, and then I'm going to do a little ride of perhaps 20k or so. See how it goes. So I'm gonna go down this hill and then come back again, and then do another 20k or so around the town. Okay, going uphill now, and I'm gonna put on level 2. Oh, I can immediately see the difference. Level 3. It's like I'm just putting like a feather light weight on the pedals. Level 4. Wow. Seriously, this is it's ironic. It feels like I'm on level 4. This is not even the strongest assist level, and it feels like I'm pedaling on air. It was a little hill, I grant you that, but it was just I'm gonna put it back on 1. I'm not even gonna go up all the way up to 5 because it's it's unnecessary, totally unnecessary. Anyway, I'm going to get out of this field here, Janet's Park. The route I'm planning to take will take me on a mixed type of terrain. There are some paths that might be a little muddy. It hasn't rained over the last 2 days, so it might be dry. There might be a little mud in there, and then several cycling paths cycleways and a few roads as well. And I'm gonna stop here, and the moment that I feel there's something interesting to report, I will report. Otherwise, you guys will see me again at the end of the ride. Okay, I'm out of the field. I'm still on the back of the region here, and riding on tarmac. Let's see how it goes. And I hope the setup of the recording setup is also working fine, that the microphone, the wireless microphone is working as it should, with the dead cat thing preventing the wind to be too loud. Let's see how it goes. The little hill here, I'm on pedal assist 1 and the lightest gear, and it's nothing. I put it, and the gear is skipping somehow. If I put on number 2, gosh, I can feel the power of the motor immediately, and that's due to its torque sensor. Which the more, I'm gonna put it back on 1 again, which the more expensive bikes have, the least expensive bikes have a cadence sensor, so the engine will only pick up after 1 or 2 revolutions of the pedal. While this one, the moment you put a little bit of pressure on the pedal, the sensor picks it up and immediately gives you that power. It's pretty good. Just concerned with the gears. They seem to be skipping, so probably need some adjusting. I'm not sure if they're already badly adjusted from factory or if something happened during transport. Let's see. Now on the heaviest gear, I'm on 27 kilometers, doing 27 kilometers an hour now. So I am pedaling. There is no assistance from the motor at all at this level. And I'm pedaling okay. There is resistance. There's a little bit of resistance. I can feel, I need to put a little bit more strength on the pedals, but it's pretty level, so it's absolutely not a problem at all. The bike is, according to the specs, the bike is 18 kilos heavy. I measured it with a suitcase scale, and it was 18 and a half. So let's see. I'm on 17 kilometers an hour now, and I can see the motor, the engine helping me a little bit. I'm gonna put it on number 2. Oh wow, 2 is sufficient for everything I've done so far. It feels like feather light now, and I would have still 3, 4, and 5 to go. I'm going back on 1. According to the meter in my phone, the battery is still at 100%. I've ridden so far just under 10 kilometers. So not much of a power drain so far. But it's all pretty level, and I've mostly used 1 and 2. I used 3 just a tiny bit on that hill. It's pretty noisy here. I'll continue later. I moved away from the road. There is a quite steep little hill coming up in front of me. I'm on level 1, I'm gonna put on level 3. See how it performs on that level. Oh, level 3, it's not enough. 4. Yeah, 4 does it. It's pretty light now, really light. 5, let's just give it 5 for, oh wow, 5 is better. I'll put him back in level 2. Yeah, on that little steep hill, level 3, I'm not sure if it was because I changed while I was in the middle of the climb, but level 3 wasn't, well, level 2, sorry, wasn't enough, not level 3. Level 3 was sufficient, but even with the assist, I think it takes a second or two. Even with the torque sensor, I think it may take a second for the electronics to actually switch and the engine to start providing more power. It's a bit muddy here, as you can see, but it's a good test as well. I got the bike a little bit dirty, but I'll clean it up later. And the tires, let's put it on 2. There's another little hill here. 2 is enough for this. I'll show in the map and the stats later where these little steep hills are. So 2 is more than enough for this. But this one is not as steep as the other one in the back there. Put it back on 1 to save energy. This is going to get the bike pretty dirty, but that's all right. I actually didn't put it on 1. Put it on 1 now. Yeah, this route that I am taking, you hear the cars, because it's besides a busy street, a busy road here in Bracknell. It's called the Ramblers Route, and it's quite ancient. I've seen online some indications that people have actually hiked this route or walked it or passed through for hundreds and hundreds of years. So it's a little part of an ancient route here in the town of Bracknell in the county of Berkshire. And there are parts of it that are quite nice, completely traffic free, but you might encounter lots of dog walkers and people walking. So you can't simply, go. But this route leads to the Swingley Forest. Actually, the Swingley Forest is already here on my right, crossing the road, which cannot be crossed at this point. Quite dangerous, and there are no exit or entry points to the forest here. But there is an entry point to the forest close to what's called locally as the Lookout, which is sort of like a little nature science-y little museum for kids. It's quite nice, and might take the bike to go on some mountain biking trails, although that's obviously not a mountain biking bike, but it would be a good test. The mountain biking trails there are divided in levels of little black Kit Kat levels of how should I say, endurance. Another one. Or is it the Matrix playing with me? Oh dear. Oh dear. You okay? You okay?
It's alright, thanks, yeah.
Yeah?
Very worn out, aren't you?
Well, he's pretty tough.
Yeah.
There's not a tear in his eye, so he's a pretty tough boy. Well done, you. Well done.
Right? You got it.
Yeah. Just clean up,
Stay to the left on this bit.
get up, and right away.
Go on. Turn your wheel.
Enjoy the day.
Thank you, and you.
Thank you. Well, you've seen what happened there. Gosh, come on. I just realized that I stopped actually on the incline going up. That it takes actually when you are stationary, it takes actually quite a bit of pressure on the pedal for the assist to kick in. Didn't realize that before. That's good to know. Quite muddy here. No wonder that little kid had issues, huh? But I think he did came across the curve there. Perhaps turned too quickly, and hit the little how should I say, wooden guards or whatever they're called. I'm on level 2 now on this little hill, and it's so easy. I mean, I've done this hill here, I don't know, hundreds of times on conventional bikes. Even I mean, I can't. This is not rideable on a road bike, especially in these conditions. But on my hybrid and my former hybrid bike, I don't have anymore, and on my mountain biking, this was a little bit of a struggle. But now on level 2 here, this is a breeze. I can barely feel it. I can barely feel any resistance on the pedal. The engine is on number 2. The engine is doing almost. I'm now on Savernake Park. There's a big lake in there. Well, not a big lake, a small lake. People do fish here. It's a nice part of the town as well. You can see in front of me quite a few cyclists. It's a nice day, sun came out again. Absolutely beautiful. Don't know if the camera picks this up well. If you go look at down here, at anything I'll see whether I can show it or not. If you look down here, it's on level 3. A tiny bit of a hill, but there's a bigger, steeper part of this little hill here, over there. And I mean, it feels like nothing. But it is consuming, it's a battery, lost 20% of battery. I'm like this. I always come up this hill. Need to cross this road now. It's quite busy. This road goes to Ascot. Actually, let me use the traffic lights. So what was I saying? Yeah, I used to get to that traffic light there, fighting for air sometimes, because I always ride on the heaviest gear ratio. It is on the heaviest gear ratio right now. Some gears, well, I don't know. I don't know now if 1 is the hardest or 9 is the hardest, but it's It is on the hardest gear ratio, and it is on 3, and it feels like super light. I mean, never, even on my road bike, it was so easy. It's getting a little bit harder now, but it's still super light. Bike on the right? Actually, I'll take the road. This is a shared path, but I can take the road, no problem. Oops, gear just skipped. Needs a little bit of adjustment. Actually, let me go take the path here. Okay, hill is over. There's a big downhill now. Okay, just came down a little hill. Zero assist now, so I'm not using the motor whatsoever. Right now 31 kilometers per hour, 31 kph. That's what, about 20 something miles per hour. And I thought I was gonna get like a road bike speeds, 40 kilometers per hour now, but the drag is just too much. 41 at zero assist, so it's definitely not it's not the performance of a road bike or anything of the sort, but it's not bad. Rolls well, and that's what matters. That is what I was looking for. So decided to escape the road there. It's getting too busy. This goes uphill for about 1.5 kilometers, but it's not very hard. But I'm in the strongest, heaviest gear, and on pedal assist number 1. Time to put it on 2. Oh, that makes such a difference. Between 1 and 2, the difference is, it's amazing. And I am, again, just a reminder, I am on the heaviest gear. But when the engine kicks off or kicks on, you can feel it. You can feel it pushing you. It's not like you can't stop pedaling, because if you stop pedaling, you stop. The bike stops. It is a pedal assist after all. But the difference it makes, wow. Again, as I said in the beginning, this is my first e-bike. I did test drives on e-bikes before, but I never owned one. So this is so far the most extensive ride I've done on an e-bike so far. So those that already own e-bikes, this is perhaps pretty boring. But for me, this is pretty amazing. And I've always said that I would only get an e-bike after retirement. Talk about eating your own words, huh? Still a long way from retirement. Not a young person, not a young man anymore, but still 9 years away from retirement here in the UK. Okay, more later. Another downhill on the road. This is quite busy. 31 kilometers an hour, 30, 31. So it doesn't matter how much assist you put, the engine will not help after it reaches 25 kilometers an hour. 32 now. Let's try it again. 40, 42, 45, 46, 47, I think is the best I can do in these conditions. And now the starts to climb again. I'm on 0, pedal assist. Let's put it to 1 to get a little bit of help when it reaches 25, 27, 26, still 26. Let's get out of the road. 25. Oh, and I can feel it. Even on 1. Let's put it on 2. Wow. 1 is very light. There's a guy peeing there. Sorry about that. Delivery guy peeing. Poor people. It's on a Sunday. They're working. They have nowhere to go. Because in this country there are no more public facilities anywhere. Anyway, as I was saying, 1 is pretty light. You do feel it, but it's pretty light. But the moment you change it to 2, then you feel the kick. Then the engine really starts working harder, or the motor, the electric motor. It's not bad. I am on 80. Can't see here because of the glare. Around 60% of battery and 21 kilometers. So 60% of battery and 20 kilometers. 21 and a half now. Yeah. You decide whether that is bad or good. Okay, did a little stop. I am in a place called Jocks Lane Park. Nice place. I stopped to check that the wireless microphone was still working as a battery. It does last several hours, but I didn't know how much charge it had when I started. So it's on assist level 1. This is very gravelly. Little patches of mud here and there. As I said, 60% battery. It's okay. It's Jocks Lane Park. They have several public tennis courts here. You can register with the council and pay a little. Don't know, but it's not very much. It's very little. Pay a little money, and you have then to reserve the pitch or the court. But they have several here. I think there's 10 courts, 8 to 10 courts. I can't remember. It's a pretty nice place. Okay, there is a little hill now. I am still on the heaviest gear and on pedal assist 1. I am going to keep that setting for as long as I don't want to do anymore, but I want to do a bit of exercise as well. It's been a while since I've ridden, so I want to actually have a little bit of exercise, sweat a little bit. So it's on 1. It's doable so far. It's 20 kilometers an hour. So the engine, the motor, is helping a little. I'm gonna put it on 2 just to see the difference. Yeah, the difference is just amazing. On 2, right? I put it on 3. It's feather light. It doesn't even kick in often because it's more than 25 kilometers an hour now. So I'm gonna go back to 1. Yeah, going back to 1, I do feel it goes back to 22, 23, and I do feel that I have to put some strength, some force to actually get up this hill. Consider I am on the heaviest gear. Actually, let me try lowering the gears. I'm in the middle now, so I'm probably in gear, what? I'm in the middle of 9, so 3, 4, somewhere 4, I think. I think that's 4. This bike doesn't have a display, so you don't exactly know what gear you are unless you look at the derailleur. It's a bit of a letdown, I think. For the price of the bike, they could have included that, but it's not a big deal, not for me at least. Okay, this is pretty doable. I am a little bit short of air, but I'm asthmatic anyway, so this is not abnormal for me. But yeah, it's pretty doable, no question about it. So it's pedal assist 1, the middle of the gear set, maybe 4 out of 9. So it's not bad. That's the end of the climb. So I'll see you later. For those that know Bracknell, know the region or the town, this is the Coppit Beach Hotel, the Swiss style kind of hotel. And there used to be a ice hockey stadium here. So I don't know if the camera is picking up. And there used to be also a ski ramp, a dry ski ramp over there. This is all gone now, all demolished. The ski ramp has even grass growing on it. They unfortunately were the victims of the pandemic. They didn't survive the pandemic. I mean, their economics were bad to start with already. They were struggling financially already before the pandemic. And then the pandemic killed them off. This used to be the home of the Bracknell Bees ice hockey team. But this is all gone now. So one of the victims of the pandemic here in the UK. Let me cross the road. I am closing to 25 kilometers. 25 kilometers and a few hundred meters. And the battery is still showing 60%. But I haven't, it's on level assist. It's on level 1 now, pedal assist level 1. So it's all right. I think I'm gonna end up with close to 30 kilometers today. And I'll tell you how much battery I still have left. But it's, Bracknell is not very hilly at all. Bracknell is pretty flat. So it's not a really fair endurance test, but it is a test. So you take from it what you want, what helps you. Okay, this part here, as you can see, this is the rail tracks, leads to Bracknell Station that way and Reading that way. There is a pedestrian footpath here, and it's not rideable, at least I don't ride it. But there's a little ramp here, so just for you to get to know how difficult it is to push the bike. It's not difficult at all. There is no walking setting on this bike, okay? Not that I know of anyway. There are some electric bikes that they have a walking setting, which means you have a little help from the electric motor as you're pushing the bike as well. But not in this one. Okay, not that I know of anyway. If I find out, I'm gonna put that later. So when you push this bike, you're pushing the 18 kilos of it. Okay? because if you don't pedal, the engine won't help. Just wanted to make that point, that this could be seen as a, it's pretty noisy here, could be seen as a disadvantage of this bike. Sorry, pretty noisy. I just wanted to show that going down, the hydraulic brakes are pretty good. So as I said, there is no walking assistance. I'm walking at a leisurely pace at 5 kilometers an hour now, according to the bike. So just keep that in mind. If you have to push, you're pushing the entire weight of the bike. Okay, I'm nearing the end of my ride. This is a tiny patch of wood called Tarman's Copse. Maybe a kilometer and a half away from my house. It's beautiful here, and there's a little squirrel. And the bluebells, it's spring. The bluebells are coming out. Not so much yet. There's a time of the year that this little patch of wood here, this little forest is, well, you can see over there. I hope you can see. It's covered in bluebells. Okay, turn both the phone camera and the 360 camera on. So the 360 is almost out of battery, so it's not going to last. Hence, I'm recording also on the phone. And yeah, it's pretty okay. Let me actually switch camera sides. Hold on. So the bike performed okay, I think. It's not sure if you can see that. I've put it on level 5 just to climb on this little hill here. Because on grass it's quite heavy, and it's showing 40%. Actually, you can only see 2 bars out of 5 there, but the app, the Fiido app on the phone, is showing 40%. The app is not very precise as well. It doesn't appear to go, accurately, like for example, from 50 to 49, it just goes on tenths. So it goes from, I think it actually matches the bars on the display there. So it goes from 0 to 80, then from 80 to 60, and from 60 to 40. So the app is not very precise in that sense. Exactly 30 kilometers at this point here, and 40% of battery. Yeah, range is a bit of a problem. It's not as much as I would have liked to be, but yeah, it is what it is. They say on their side that they are planning to release what they call a range extender, which is an extra battery that goes here on the bottle cage. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it probably plugs in the normal battery, and it charges the normal battery, whatever. So that may help a little. I mean, for the price, I can't really fault it. It's there are a few things that would, I think, be on the nice to have kind of thing. The range would be one of them. But other than that, the bike rides pretty well. I mean, could have a little bit more gears. Perhaps it could have a 2x9 setting. But yeah, it is not a bad bike. I didn't mention, but it comes with a rear light. which for some reason is not working now. Or maybe I need to press and keep it pressed. Yeah, that's it. So it comes with a rear light, but it's just a USB flashlight. But it is branded, it says Fiido on the light. But you have to charge it separately. And it comes with a front light as well, which took me a while to understand where it turned on. But you turn on here in the display by press and holding the M button. So you press and hold the M button, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little sign in there that indicates that the light is on. And if you go here in the front, it's pretty bright, so I don't know if you can see, but the light is shining. Let me turn it off. You can see going off then. You see, it makes a beep and it cuts the light. So far it comes with mud guards, fenders. Took me a while to get them, and I think I didn't do a good job. They're still rattling on, touching the tires. But yeah, the seat, the saddle is pretty comfortable. It's not the typical saddle I'm used with. If I ride on this bike as my main bike, then I probably put my Brooks saddle in it. But it's pretty comfortable. I mean, 30 kilometers I didn't feel a thing, and haven't ridden in several weeks. So yeah, other than that, the controls are pretty, brainless. You can switch the levels of pedal assist here on the up and down, but you can also switch the levels of pedal assist here in the up and down. And the M here is actually a buzzer. Let me press so you can hear. You see, it's a pretty loud buzzer. I don't actually like these buzzers. The bike comes with actually a bell in the box as well. So there is a bell in the box, which you can put on, but I didn't put it on. Yeah, I think it's a keeper. Pretty happy. A few niggles. Could have more gears. Could have a bigger battery and more autonomy. But I think it's pretty much a keeper. I like the style of the bike. I like the color. It's pretty cool. So that's it. That's the end of the review. I'm gonna put some pictures and some data when I edit this video, and at home I'm gonna write a blog about it as well. That concludes the video. Hope you enjoyed it. It's probably a long video, but you don't need to keep it all. I'll probably cut it in to make it a little bit shorter. Let's see. Thanks for watching, if you watched until now, and I hope this is helpful in some way, shape, or form. And keep riding. Take care.